Hey guys, Tired Narc Hunter here. It's been a while, or at least it feels like it. Happily, I am at 1,800 trips and counting. So excited, but most importantly, I managed to survive the summer without the college students. Yes, the college students are officially back. The traffic is insane in Morgantown again. Been several traffic accidents. Hopefully we're done with those and everything in the traffic can settle down now, back to our normal for the school season. So, confession time. I don't know what I'm going to do to take you guys for a ride this time because I'm having a lot of technical difficulties with my camera. It's recording, but it's not recording what I want. It's like several days behind. I don't know how that's happening. I need to examine it further. But if there's anything on this camera, on my dash cam, whenever I put this video together, we'll just take whatever's on there. And it's such a shame too, because I went on this really long trip yesterday. Not quite towards Pittsburgh, but it was up in PA, like out in the country, man. I mean like country. I mean like Red Barns country. Oh, it was such a beautiful ride. I was so excited to have it all on camera too, and unfortunately none of it's on camera. I'm so disappointed, so we might end up with just some scrappy, normal, routine, run-of-the-mill day in Morgantown for our video this week. But I promise I'll make it interesting no matter what it is. So guys, I'm pretty sure I've been a drug mule. Is this common for Uber drivers to connect people to their drugs? Just curious. Comment below. But seriously, I would not have even put it together if it weren't for the fact that I got 2 rides on the same day going to the same location. And it was both the same circumstance. They go in with nothing, they disappear for about 5 minutes, they come back out with nothing, and they Uber back home. Uber's not cheap, you guys. He's not going over there just to kiss somebody on the cheek and go home, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this one guy, he came from this really sketchy motel in Morgantown that we already know is like loaded with drug dealers and prostitutes and stuff like that. In fact, the cops were there by the time I brought him back from his round trip. So yeah, guys, pretty sure I'm connecting people with their drug dealers now, so that's fantastic. Yeah, I thought about turning them into the police, but I'm like, what am I gonna say? I mean, they're probably watching the house already. It was more like a strip mall. It had a bunch of different businesses in it, supposedly. Yeah, they're selling furniture there. They're selling toys for kids there. Yeah, they're and I say that because I don't know which shop is the one doing the drug dealing, but yeah, they're selling something in there, all right. So just thought I'd let you know that I've been doing that as well. Nice sketchy Morgantown. Trying to think what else I've been doing lately. Oh yes, it was exciting. Last week I woke up, came out to my car, 6 a.m, ready to go, bright and early, and my rear tire was completely flat. Yeah, that's a bummer. Fortunately, Uber has a nice free program that you can use 4 times a year in cases of emergencies like that, so I was able to have somebody come and help me with it, and then finish the rest up at Walmart. So 4 hours later, I was finally able to get back on the road, all thanks to one little screw that I ran over. Well, it's been a busy week. I can already see this episode is going to take several days to make. Anyways, a quick update on the girl that I think I called her Joan. I think that was the name I picked for her. Anyway, got to see her again the other day. She's doing great. As a matter of fact, she's on her way to going up to a management position. So congratulations to her. She totally deserves it. And I thought I'd just update you guys on that. Okay, well, another day and another try. Like I said, it has been seriously busy in Morgantown with the students back, and I have a feeling I'm going to get interrupted again here in a minute, but I'm going to attempt to finish this episode. So anyway, wanted to talk real quick about toxic people. Now, I have a lot of people asking me, you know, oh, do you have any kind of like crazy type of passengers, you know, like drunks and stuff like that? And I said no, because I don't really do the evening shift. That being said, after all the trips that I've had, I've so far only had to give a 1-star review to 3 different people, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about them, because if you're interested in Uber driving, either as the driver or as the passenger, I thought you might find it interesting what you're more likely to encounter, and that's usually somebody with some level of disrespect. Remember, this is your car, and you are entitled to be treated with respect. And thank goodness in driving for Uber, you're not dependent on some type of boss or manager to stand up for you, because very often, in my experience, they don't. But you can stand up for you, and you can decide where your boundaries are and what kind of passenger you don't want to have come back into your car. So the last woman that I just gave a 1-star review to was kind of a repeat offender. I recognized her name and address from before, where I showed up, and it was just, you know, to where she wouldn't answer my texts, my phone call, you know, never did show up, so I had to cancel the ride. And this time I showed up, let her know I was there because she was not coming out, and here she calls me and says that she couldn't wait for me, she already went to the stop. And I'm like, okay. So I just wasted my gas coming to her house where she is not there, so that was kind of disrespectful as it was. And then I got to the parking lot, and I know she saw me as she walked into the gas station because I saw her go in. And she called me on the phone, and she's like asking if I'm here. Am I here? Well, obviously I'm here because you just looked at my 2 eyeballs, so yes, I'm here. And I told her, you know, I'm in the parking lot of such and such gas station, and my flashers are on, you know, so that she could definitely find my car. And she was like, that's not what I asked you. I asked you what color car you had. I was like, okay. First of all, that information is on the app. If you want to know what color car I have, what make of car I have, it's on the app, along with my license plate if you want to double check that as well. So she's asking for unnecessary information, and then plus the way she asked for it in a very condescending tone is like, okay, you just earned yourself your 1-star review. We do not want you in this vehicle anymore. So just to kind of give you an example of more regular toxicity, as opposed to, like, you know, crazy drunk people are expecting wild parties in your car and stuff like that. It's gonna be people like that, and you just have to decide, you know, what gets under your skin, what doesn't, what you're gonna accept and what you don't accept. Kind of wish somebody told me that up front, so I could have been more prepared, but fortunately I've just kind of been feeling it out as I go, and I feel right about the people that I've decided to give a 1-star review to. For the most part, I just give everybody 5-star reviews because I know that builds up their reputation in the Uber app for passengers. So yeah, just stick by your guns. You know, there's always going to be somebody trying to take advantage of you, unfortunately. There's actually a couple of other type of toxic people that I would like to go over, but probably not on this episode. Maybe let's do that on the next episode, because it could get a little too long if I tried to cover it right now. I think now would be a good time to cut to that footage that I promised that I dug up. It's more of like a typical day in downtown Morgantown where the traffic is absolutely bumper to bumper. So it'd be good to have a little bit of variety. And while we're watching that, I'll go ahead and talk to you about a little theory that I've been working on about how we can make the workplace better. So let's see you there and watch the video. Alright, so first off, here is what downtown driving typically looks like. Yeah, as you can see, it gets pretty much bumper to bumper when it's busy downtown. So a little bit of reality thrown in with some otherwise beautiful views from my dash cam. I'm hoping I got the problem with it fixed so that we won't have this sort of trouble again. But anyways, to talk a little bit about my idea for the workplace. You know how one of your coworkers will call off sick, you know, very, very common occurrence, and suddenly everybody's unhappy. You know, the manager is unhappy because now they've got to figure out what to do in their absence, thinking, oh, he's probably making this up anyway, you know, as long as he can limp in on one foot, you know, my employee should be coming in. You know how it is. And of course, the other employees are not happy because they know they're going to have to take up the slack. So it's kind of an all-around unhappy situation. And, you know, chances are that person that called off sick, they might just, you know, be calling in revenge sick. You know what I'm saying? Just like had a bad day earlier that week and decided to call in sick to just kind of get away from everything. So it's all around very toxic situations. So it occurred to me that all they would have to do in order to fix that situation is if they would just calculate how much that person would have made on that shift if they had shown up, and then take that number and divide the money amongst the employees who are left at the workplace, you know, filling in for this missing team member. That would allow them to make a little bit extra per hour, you know, whenever a coworker calls off, which is good for them. Kind of helps soothe the difficulty of having to go through a shift shorthanded, because goodness knows nobody likes going through a shift shorthanded. Obviously the person who called off gets exactly what they want, and the managers, you know, they're getting the same amount of work, you know, out of fewer people. So it seems to me that the employees have been being shortchanged this whole time. You know, think about it. The company is going to put out less money because there's one less employee, and yet they're getting the same amount of work because, you know, every other employee has to make up for what that other employee would have done. It's the same amount of work, but the company pays out less money. So if you took that money and just redistributed it to the employees that are still stuck there working extra, I mean, how is that not a win-win situation for everybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's a little bit of extra math, but I mean, that's why we have computers, you know? And I can think back to many times where I had to cover for a coworker. If you're really unlucky, you might be two coworkers. But imagine if you just made like a little extra money doing that, extra $1 per hour, maybe $2 per hour. That would be so much better, and it feels so much more respectful, if you ask me. So yeah, I was thinking about that. I think that would be a really good solution if somebody could just think of it and then implement it, be really serious about it. It's way more honest. I think it is. And it's not that hard. Just a little bit of math. So yeah. Go ahead and let me know what you think about that in the comments. Maybe there's even some workplace somewhere that's already doing that. And this, of course, presupposes that these are hourly employees, not salary. That would be a different situation altogether. But yeah, so I was just thinking about that. Maybe next up on my list is to try and figure out how to deal with all of these unjust shifts, which would probably be my next biggest complaint. Would be, you know, the fact that people are getting stuck working really awkward shifts, overnight shifts, evening shifts, rotating shifts, you know. So maybe we'll talk about that next. Alright, well, thank you guys as usual for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe on these videos so that I can keep on letting you know what it's like to be an Uber driver. Stay cool.